So I'm gonna start my thread in the back here, and I'm gonna come all the way up to the eye. What I'm using is 2mm craft foam, and for the size 12, I've cut it about 3mm wide, 3.5 millimeters wide. And what I'm going to do is cut a little taper in the end here, just to get the squareness off the end of it. That's going to be the back end of the fly, and I'm going to lay it on to where the foam's going to end just past the bend of the hook. And I'm going to tie it, bind it down right here at the eye. A couple of wraps. And normally, when I'm at home, I use this fishing glue, which is a super glue, but it's got a brush, and I'll brush the hook because then it sticks that foam on there and it won't roll on me. But I don't want to stick my fingers together tonight, so. And then what I do, I'm just going to wind this thread back to the very back of the hook, and I make 2 wraps, kind of compress it into little bubbles. And this gives you a pretty good flotation. Yeah, these things float like cork. They do. They're really good. And I'm going to end right over the barb. See that? And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to come back, and I'm going to, each one of those bubbles I'm going to cross back over right up to the eye, and then come back to the bend of the hook again. So it's bound down really well. I tend to use a lot of Flex-Cement. I don't want these things coming apart on me. So I usually put a coat of glue on in between here. Now, what I'm using for dubbing, and this is buggy nymph, but you can use anything. I like synthetic stuff. I don't want rabbit or something that's going to absorb a lot of water. And this is kind of a neutral color. This is buggy nymph, and I think it's golden stone is the color in this. I'm going to dub the body about 2/3 of the way up. This stuff kind of dubbed like steel wool. And I'm going to bring my thread forward. And for an underwing, I'm going to use yellow Zelon. And you could use yellow Antron yarn, work fine too. I'm going to lay this on here. I'm going to tie it down, and then I'm going to wrap this back up to my dubbing. And then I'm going to fold the other half on top and bind it in.
What's the difference between Zelon and Antron?
So now that I've got that, I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it off just about to the end of the foam. Now for a wing, I'm going to use light colored elk. This particular piece of elk's got a lot of broken tips. I like to get those out of there. And then the wing is going to be just past the end of the foam. I'm going to measure it, and I'm going to cut the butts off right where the front of the foam is. Just catch them. I'm going to bind that down right up to the dubbing, and I'm going to come all the way back up to the front of the foam. At this point, I'm going to put a bunch of Flex-Cement in there. Now I'm going to dub the front half. Now at this point I'm going to take this foam and I'm just going to fold it back over. I'm going to tie it down with about 2 wraps. You got to be careful if you put too much pressure on that with 8/0 thread, it's going to cut that foam, so you kind of have to watch how much pressure you put on it. Now for the legs, I like these round rubber legs, but another thing that works really well is super floss. And this is a fine round rubber. And actually, I like this brand the best. It's called Centipede Legs by Montana Fly. And actually now you can actually get it through the Hook and Hackle catalog, which is pretty good because it's usually kind of hard to find. So I'm going to take one strip, I'm going to cut it in half. What I'm going to do with this, I'm just going to take it, wrap it around my thread, I'm going to come around and I'm going to set it right on the side, about 2 wraps of thread, kind of get them where I want. Take the same thing on this side. A couple wraps in here. Now I'm going to take a little more dubbing and I'm going to go around this a couple times, and what this is going to do is spread these legs out a little bit. A lot of things in the way here. Okay. And then for the indicator on top, I'm just going to use different colored foam. And whatever you see, colors you see the best is what you want to use. I see orange pretty well. And then I like using this big whip finisher for this kind of stuff, and I got a lot of stuff in the way. Kind of goes around all this junk. And you can do it without a whip finisher.
Thank you.
Should you desire.
George, wouldn't the super glue whip finish work better, where you don't even have to use whip finisher? Just hit the thread with super glue, take about 3 or 4 turns over it.
You know, I don't think it won't work when the dubbing. If you didn't have dubbing, you could probably do it. Just go right into it. Yeah, that's kind of tricky to do. Have you ever tried that?
I just got done watching a video by Woodlock
Yeah,
on it.
Burke,
In fact, I'll be donating the video to the club.
Andy Burke does that. Yeah. And then I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to cut this off behind. And now I'm going to trim the legs. The legs want to be a little bit longer than the body. And the front, I make them a little shorter than that. I'm getting there. That's it. See that?